A box fashioned from two types of wood. Paulownia chests with a glossy silver grain. Wooden shelves, lacquered and embellished. These handcrafted wooden items are created without the use of metal nails, in the traditional craft known as Kyoto-style joinery. Kyoto is home to many artisans known for their intricate woodworking skills.
やっぱり京都の指し物の繊細に尽きると思う。機械に使うたらあかんいうことはないと思うんや。だけどやっぱり味はないわな。味があるのはやっぱり手の仕事が味があると思う。
In recent years, local joiners have gained attention for leveraging their skills beyond tradition to create decorative interiors and ornate lighting fixtures.
人間の手技で圧倒的なスケールのものをやるとやっぱりみんなそのスケール感だけでみんなちょっとこうあってすげえっていうね感じてくださるようでしてそこに感動生まれるのかななんて。
Core Kyoto explores how local artisans transpose the vitality of trees into beautiful wooden artwork. Kyoto is bordered by mountains to the north, east, and west. From ancient times, people relied on the nearby forests for materials to construct their towns. Their woodworking skills not only contributed to the dwellings and religious structures, but also the fixtures and furnishings within. The Sugisaka area lies north of the city center. This region, tucked deep in the mountains, is known for its quality cedar. A small workshop is nestled in the valley. It is run by renowned joiner Shimizu Takashi. He primarily handcrafts boxes. He focuses on traditional works, including containers for utensils used in tea gatherings. Shimizu specializes in hexagonal containers for sweets used during the gatherings. By integrating two types of wood with different coloring, he joins mirror images to create twin pieces.
ベースは大体木です。はい。タンニンが多い木なんで、アク抜かへんかってすぐに変色してしまうので、乾かして雨浸しにするんですよ。でそれを1、2年やっといたら真っ黒けになる。真っ黒けになったところで今度削ったら白くなる。
He also favors Jindai Japanese cedar. This exceedingly valuable lumber had been buried underground for hundreds or thousands of years before being found.
神代杉が一番ね使ってて面白い口かけた木やから扱い難しいんですけど、風合いがいいわね。
Shimizu is currently creating a hexagonal container from Paulownia and Jindai cedar. With the final design in his mind, he begins by drafting lines on the material. He aspires to evoke the mountains surrounding Kyoto. He cuts the stacked Paulownia and cedar boards with a fret saw. Slowly easing the wood forward, he takes care to work the saw uniformly. The blade is about half the width of a normal woodworking blade. This helps achieve a delicate curve.
これが一番ベストで、まあ耐久性はないんですわ。まあ折れないようにゆっくりゆっくりやりますけどね。
Applying too much force results in uneven surfaces, which leave gaps when pieces are joined.
完璧一緒でしょ。
The Paulownia and Jindai cedars slide together in a flawless fit, displaying the ridgeline Shimizu envisioned. As a base for the adhesive, he uses a wooden spatula to mash steamed rice into a paste, the same way it has been done for generations.
昔はこれしかなかったね。ボンドのある前は。
He also adds chemical adhesive.
ここからまたこれ練るね。なじませるようにこんだけの粘りが出る。ボンドだけでこんだけの粘りないわけ。
The stickiness of the rice starch and the strength of the chemical woodworking glue together yield a strong adhesive bond. The two glued wooden pieces are dried overnight or for a full day in a vise. The boards are then cut into 6 pieces. They are joined at 60-degree angles to form a perfect hexagon. Shimizu uses a homemade planer table. The board is set on the table, which is adjusted to a 60-degree angle. The protruding area is shaved off. He aligns the angles of all 6 boards to 60 degrees. The planer is a vital tool for joiners. The shavings, measuring less than 0.1 millimeter, are testament to the artisan's subtle technique. One particular tool Shimizu received as a child inspired him to become a joiner.
これが僕のその10歳の誕生日にもらったカンナ。親父から結構ええカンナなんですよこれ。
Upon receiving this gift, Shimizu vowed to become a joiner like his father, who excelled at making tea utensils. He remembers his father was strict in his guidance.
仕込みも研ぎ方も一切教えてくれへんもん。仕事場一歩踏み出したら親とここの円はきれいにやでってこう言われたからね。昔はもう見て覚えよっていう世界やから。だからうまいこといかへんにはなかなかね。だからもう試行錯誤すべて、見て覚えるっていうのはそれがあるから覚えるには思うよね。
Shimizu makes a small groove on the edges to help the boards adhere.
いやここに糊が入るんでね。糊が入るいうことは接地面積が増えていくっていう感じ。これから糊つけていきますね。
He applies glue to the 60-degree surfaces, and the boards are joined.
それでこれをバチバチバチバチってやっていったら
He wraps string to hold them in place and leaves them to dry overnight. Once dried, Shimizu makes a slit at each corner. He applies a bit of glue to small pine tabs and wedges one into each slit.
ここにね板を挟むことによってこれが開かないように開き止め使ってる間にこう接着能力っていうのが20年ほどしたら落ちてくる可能性があるので
The tabs are first pounded with a hammer to make them thinner.
ちょっと緩く入るようにするんだよね。 そうすることによってあと接着剤の水分でまた膨れてくれるから余計ひっつくのね。
After they have dried, he saws off the extraneous bits. Then he files and smooths the overall surface. The last step is oiling for a glossy finish. The container depicting Kyoto's mountains took 3 days to complete. The visible growth rings are a reminder of the tree's longevity. Conjoining two varieties of wood into a harmonious unit is a source of joy for Shimizu.
こうやって遊び心をしながら、誰もやらないことでやってみるっていうのは楽しみっていうかね。
Furniture stores are huddled along Ebisugawa Dori in the city center. One shop opened in 1856. The business makes and sells furniture and items made using Kyoto joinery. Paulownia chests are treasured for the wood's pesticidal properties in this town where kimono remains part of the culture.
一番の特色っていうのが、湿気に強いっていうことだと思います。着物っていうのが一番湿気がダメでカビが生えてしまうっていうことがあるんですけれども、桐タンスは切られてタンスになっても息をしているって言われてまして、湿気の多い時はもう膨らんで、桐がもう湿気を吸ってくれてます。
Creating a chest requires different techniques to those used to make boxes. On closer inspection, the frame is comprised of assembled wood. The artisan makes trapezoidal protrusions on one end of the wood. He creates corresponding grooves in the other plank before joining the two. This creates a strength which will resist even forceful pulling.
糊もその釘も何も売ってない状態、この組み手だけでほぼどう頑張っても取れません。京刺物っていうのはこういう組み手を美しく見せるっていうところにすごい特徴的なところがあって、見た目にもすごくかっこいいような、仕事ですね。はい。
The absence of metal nails in joinery means no rust, thus minimizing deterioration. Repair is simplified since the item can be easily disassembled. Paulownia chests were once part of a bride's trousseau.
親子3代にわたって使ってもらったりとか、昔おばあちゃんが使ってたやつをまたきれいにして子供さんが使うとかお孫さんが使うとかっていう話よく聞くので、誇らしい仕事です。はい。
The store also houses a furniture museum on its premises. It offers insight into the culture of joinery. The roots of Kyoto joinery lie in traditional wooden architecture. In the 6th century, Buddhist architecture was introduced from the Asian mainland along with Buddhism itself. Built using joinery and no nails whatsoever, these structures survived earthquakes and other natural disasters occurring over time. Some are still standing. Various joinery techniques were devised to enhance structural durability. Some builders decided to broaden their skills to produce home furnishings and fixtures, in the process establishing the joinery profession. These joiners developed skills unique to Kyoto.
京都っていうのは千年の都でしたので、そこで一流の指物師とか、あと蒔絵する方、漆の方、そういう方が集まって出来上がっていたのが、京指物だと思います。
After the capital moved to Kyoto in the late 8th century, court culture cultivated the use of lacquer, mother of pearl, gold dust, and other decorative styles. This melding of elegance with tradition produced a more sophisticated joinery. As tea gatherings evolved and spread in the 16th century, a spirit and sense of rustic beauty engendered a purer form of Kyoto joinery, expanding the craft's expressive horizons. In the latter half of the 19th century, when Western culture was freely allowed to enter Japan, the art form absorbed new elements and further expanded. Cho-Chikukyo, to Kyoto's southwest, was built in 1928 by architect Fuji Koji as his private residence. While his family lived in the house, he conducted numerous experiments and improvements in his quest to create the ideal Japanese residence.
日本の気候風土、それと日本人の感性に適した住宅を作ろうとしたと。
The parlor reflects wooden modernism. The sofa and furnishings merge with the traditional alcove beyond, creating a space that integrates both Japanese and Western aesthetics. Fuji designed the furniture, which was crafted in the Ebisugawa Dori shop.
釘がとにかくないのに、こういうところが完全に組み込まれていると。やはり指物の技術が使われていると。一方で欧米から入ってきた家具の洋家具を作る技術と指物の技術がうまく合体して、非常に藤井の望むようなスレンダーな、ある意味華奢な家具が出来上がってるんじゃないかなと。
While incorporating Western culture, Fuji relied on joinery techniques to create his ideal residence.
日本の住宅を世界レベルに持っていきたいという中で、あらゆる日本の技術、伝統技術を使おうとしたと。でその中でやはり指物っていうのは見た目ではすっきりしてるんですけど、実は中にはものすごい技術が詰まってるっていうことをあまり強調してないですよね。細やかなディテールを持ったものを作り続けてきた京指物、それが欧米に負けないような家具を作れるという技術をやはり藤井は取り入れようとしたんじゃないですかね。
Like all traditions in the ancient capital, the craft developed with the changing times and incorporated new elements. Light spills out from intricate patterns within the wood, enveloping the space in a soft warmth. This woodworking technique, known as kumiko, involves fitting slender lengths of wood into a wooden frame to create geometric patterns. It is usually used in the paper screens and transoms of wooden structures. Kumiko was devised as a two-dimensional form. Murayama Shinichi was the first to transform it into three-dimensional art.
僕たちがやってる組子というのは今まで世の中に存在した平面の、平らな組子だけではなくって立体的になっていたり、よそにはない組子ということですよね。それは当然ここにしかないということは、一つの魅力なのかなというふうに思ってます。
Keihoku, an area in northwestern Kyoto, is known for its thriving lumber industry. Murayama's workshop is located here. The lampshade he is working on will be part of a hotel's interior decor. The shade is made from Japanese cypress, a pale wood with just the right firmness to facilitate processing. The individual parts are made first, with the wood cut into small pieces. The pieces are 26 millimeters in length. Each tip is cut to form a point. Each part is snapped and bent before being wedged in to create a groove. A second part is fitted into this groove. The three sections, each measuring just over 1 centimeter, together form a geometric pattern.
これはね、ちょっと尋常じゃないぐらい気の遠くなるようなちっちゃいパーツを延々これ手作りで作ってるんです。
An electric saw is used to cut the wood and shape a projection. A special square drill is used to create the hole for the projection. Joinery techniques are used in every step along the way. It took about a week to create the lampshade.
申し分ないです。これなら世の中に出せます。大丈夫です。はい。
When Murayama first became a joiner, he created tea utensils and doll accoutrements.
こう引き出しで棚もんですね。もうこれも刺し物になってるからこう分解できますね。
They may be miniatures, but they demand the same skills required of their full-sized counterparts.
この形なんかもこれもいろんな技術をこれ集大成です。この一面だけで5パーツぐらいあるんですけど、これ全部刺して継ぎ合わせて作ってますね。でここは曲げてますしということでなかなか難しいんですよ。
In the early 2000s, affordable products took over the market, and the demand for handcrafted doll accoutrements dropped sharply. In 2009, amidst hard times, Murayama experienced a turning point. A friend asked him to create kumiko decor for a wedding hall. So he went from working in miniature to creating a kumiko panel of unprecedented size. He completed the project after a year and a half of trial and error. A gentle ambiance is created from the light spilling from the kumiko pattern. The inventive kumiko wedding hall interior became a hit, sparking orders from hotels and businesses.
「僕ね幸いにその人形のその小道具をやってたということは、広く浅くいろんな技術を身につけてたんですね。でそれが幸いしてこういう新しい内装をやるときにじゃあ技術とこの技術をこう使ったらこの形作れるよねとか、今までなかったような工芸作品を作れてるということにつながってると思います。はい。
Murayama's next initiative was a three-dimensional work. His workshop has an adjacent cafe that doubles as a showroom. Cylindrical chandeliers with shades featuring kumiko artistry descend from the ceiling. Creating a cylindrical form using kumiko required special insight. The contours of small wooden tubs offered helpful clues.
実はねこの組子ってこういうふうに模様がいっぱいあるんでややこしくって模様を消して板やと考えたら この板を角度つけて削ってくっつけていた、いわゆる桶ですよね。桶を作る時とそうやって作るんですけど、ってすればこう丸くなるじゃないかと。
Murayama successfully adopted traditional methods for something new. Visitors to the cafe are captivated by the chandeliers.
繊細さと光の漏れ方の美しさとか、入った時にここの空間の圧巻の美しさに惹かれました。
The workshop is mainly staffed by young members from around Japan who were allured by Murayama's creations. Murayama forms them into teams and leaves them to their work. He checks on them regularly, encouraging them to use their initiative.
一人じゃなかなかできないことも協力し合ってやることで、例えば組子であるとか細かい作業をどんどん大きなものにできるっていうのは面白いところかなと思います。
やっぱり若い人たちが魅力を感じていただいて、そして自分の腕を磨いて、で自分の自信につなげて、で、豊かな生活が保障されて未来が見せられるように頑張っております。はい。
Murayama is committed to using lumber from Keihoku, where he is situated, to support the future of Kyoto Joinery. He is heading not far from his workshop to a lumber center, where lumber from the Keihoku region is up for auction.
はい、これ1万5千円、1万5千円、1万6千円、1万。はい、これ4万円、4万円、4万5千円、5万円、5万5千円、6万。
Murayama purchases much of his lumber locally to support the industry.
この土地で、長年生きてきたそういう木をまた僕たちの手で加工して新しいものを作る、新しい伝統を作っていくっていうのが必要なのかなと思ってますし、それが時代を経て振り返った時に伝統として、また脈々とまた次の世代につながっていくっていう、そういうことの繰り返しなのかななんて思って、作ってます。
Over a millennium, Kyotoites have harnessed the vital force of trees to create exquisite works of interlocking art in what is known as Kyoto Joinery.